Guys, this is exciting. So, in my hand, I just received the 4K Steelbook of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Now, this is exciting for a few reasons. One, it doesn't release until August 13th officially. So I pre-ordered it a couple months ago and it just arrived. So I don't know if this was a bonus for pre-ordering it and buying it so long ago and they shipped it to me almost a week early or what. But anyways, I have it now and I'm going to open it up. And the other exciting thing is I did not actually see this movie in the theater. I wanted to wait and watch it in my own theater for a few reasons. I don't need to get into that now, but I preferred to see this in my own theater for the first time, and now I've got it, and I'm gonna open it up here and check it out and see. So I did order the Steelbook version, which I think maybe sold out at this point, possibly. I don't know. I'll put a link in the description to whatever versions are available. If the Steelbook version is still available, then I'll link to that. But yeah, this is, oh man, this is so cool. So this is it. It is, yeah, it's the Steelbook version, and it looks awesome. Like the artwork on it is super cool. Oh man, I am excited to watch this movie. I loved the first Mad Max movie with Charlize Theron playing Furiosa. I loved that movie. And so I'm super excited to check this one out and give my thoughts on, how is the Atmos? How are the visuals? How does it look? How does it sound in my home theater? And so yeah, let's open it up here. So here we are. I don't really like these. They're called like J cards, I think. I don't really like them, but I understand why they use them, especially with the Steelbook, because the Steelbook there's no printing on the back like this. So all the details are on the J card, but I'm not gonna save that. This looks great. Like I say, this is just a beautiful case, and it came in great shape. No sign of any damage. And inside we've got both discs. Got the Blu-ray and the digital code. Okay, well let's get it going. I've got it all queued up, ready to roll. Let's see how it goes. I just finished watching Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, for the first time. I got this movie today and I could not wait to put it in and watch it. I just couldn't wait. And because I had waited and didn't see it in the theater, I was really looking forward to seeing it in my own home theater. And so part of me was like, did I make the right decision? Should I have seen it in the regular theater, or was it the right decision to actually wait and see it here? And since I can't really do an apples to apples A/B comparison, I am going to say that I am glad I waited. Based on other experiences I've had in the theater, this one was awesome. It was fantastic. I enjoyed every moment of this film. It was great, and I have it on Steelbook, and I'm so glad I got it early. I don't know how that happened. I bought it months ago, and they shipped it out to me, and yeah, here I have it. And it looks great. The artwork on it, I don't know if you can see it, but it just is so cool. It looks awesome, and it looks as good. The movie looks as good as the cover art. It really is awesome. And so, yes, obviously I love the movie, but specifically why? Well, let's start with the sound. The Atmos soundtrack, it was incredible. It was amazing. I feel like the sound engineers at these studios are really starting to really, really embrace this new Atmos spatial audio, immersive audio sound format. It's taken many years. I mean, how long has Atmos been a thing? 8 years? Did it come out in 2016? I'm kind of embarrassed. I should probably know that. But it's been out for years, but it's taken a while for them to really get it dialed in. And this one, the sides, the surrounds, the heights were just so well utilized. There was obviously a lot of vehicles in this movie, a lot of panning sounds as vehicles traveled from behind the head, past the ear, and then into the frame of view, and the sound just tracked perfectly. There was one scene, I think it was when they were approaching the Citadel in the war rig, and the point of you as the viewer, you had the point of view of the person in the Citadel looking this way at the oncoming onslaught of people and vehicles, and you heard the rumbling very clearly behind you, and then the camera flipped, and then you were seeing the point of view from the Citadel looking out as the vehicles approaching, and the sound perfectly transitioned from being behind you, swung around, and now the sound was coming at you from the front, because obviously that's what the direction that the vehicles were approaching from. And it's just little touches like that just really heightened the experience and made it so enjoyable. And the whole movie was just full of things like that. Vehicles racing by you, action, the music. I love it. I love it when sound engineers take the soundtrack of the film and incorporate it into the sides and surrounds, because then it just envelops you in the sound of the movie, and it makes it that much more immersive and that much more intense. And in this movie, they really use that to good effect to drive up the intensity and the drama and the tension of scenes, because you just had this pounding soundtrack just thumping, and there was a lot of bass in this movie, and my bass shakers were going crazy. It was awesome. And there were parts where you would see like vehicles off in the distance, and there was a low rumble, just a low rumble. And when I say low, I mean low volume. And low frequency as well, but the bass shakers was just this slight rumble, and it was like you were seeing the vehicles far off in the distance, and you would feel the rumble from them. It wasn't like super intense because they're so far away, but you felt it just enough. It gave you that sense of like, wow, even though they're that far away, I can still feel them slightly. And it was just awesome. So well done. Okay, so what things did I not particularly enjoy about the movie? I'm going to get into later, just a heads up, spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to go deep into spoilers, but if you are concerned about that, go watch the movie and then come back and watch this video. They did lean more heavily into the CGI in this film than in Mad Max Fury Road. And that was one of the things that really made Mad Max Fury Road such a just kind of an epic film that really set it apart from movies that we get today, where, I mean, yes, there was CGI in Mad Max Fury Road. It wasn't 100% practical effects, but they leaned heavily on the practical effects, and it showed. And it made for a really amazing viewing experience. In this one, they leaned more heavily into the CGI, and a lot of times it didn't. I mean, it still looked good, and it was awesome, but your brain can just see those little things, and it kind of takes you out of it, just slightly takes you out of the movie. But it wasn't enough to really decrease my viewing enjoyment that much. I mean, yes, I noticed the CGI, but it was still a really great movie. It was awesome. Now, for the story, I really love the story. I don't particularly usually enjoy origin stories. It's like, hey, you have this character and they have this thing, and then they go back and they make a movie about how they came to be. And it's like, did we really need that? I think one of the most glaring, egregious examples of that is the Han Solo movie that gave the origin story of Han Solo, and it explained like how he got his name Solo, down to details like that. And I'm like, I, not necessary. Nobody asked for it, nobody wanted it, and nobody saw it. This one, on the other hand, I think this origin story for Furiosa was awesome. In fact, if you haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road, by some crazy turn of events, you have somehow managed to avoid seeing that incredible movie. I would almost say watch this one first and then watch Mad Max Fury Road, just because it explains so much, and it leads right into Mad Max Fury Road, and it would almost make Mad Max Fury Road almost that much better to have seen this one first. But that's kind of an aside. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which order you watch these movies in. You can't go wrong. They're both awesome. So yeah, and I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was great as Furiosa. She just has that intensity in her eyes and in her face that works so well with this character. Just burning intensity. And whoever they got to play the child version, the kid version of her, I thought she did it so well. As also just that intense burning look. You could tell like there's just so much silent power behind those eyes, and I loved it. Now, Chris Hemsworth as the villain. Chris Hemsworth is such a likable guy. Like, every time he speaks, it doesn't matter what movies he's in. He just opens his mouth, and you just enjoy watching him. It's difficult to see him as a villain because he's so likable. It's like even as a villain in this movie, you couldn't help but find him likable. I mean, he worked as a villain, and you definitely felt that intensity, that intense hatred that Furiosa has for him because of the way that he has destroyed her life, and she wants her revenge. So you definitely feel that. But even when he's being a villain, he's still like Chris Hemsworth. He's just so likable. He's just a great guy. That's the way he presents himself. Is he's just so likable. But it still worked. It still worked as him as the villain. It almost kind of made it even better because he wasn't just a typical, just super evil villain that you just hate. Every time you see him, you just feel this intense negative emotion towards him. It was kind of interesting to have a villain that was so enjoyable to watch. So I thought that was really good. And then Morton Joe, obviously, he played a role in this, but he wasn't really the villain in this movie. I did find it entertaining how they really played up his two idiot sons, who were just so spastic and so convinced of their own intelligence, and they're just complete numbskulls. I enjoyed that. That was a nice touch. But yeah. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. This is a great movie. I don't think it did as well at the box office as they were hoping, which is a real shame, because I would like to see more of these movies. George Miller, I don't know. He's got to be getting pretty old. I don't know how many more movies he has in him, but it would be awesome to spend some more time in this dystopian wasteland. It's quite an environment to live in, and I enjoyed every moment of it. So thanks for watching.